My name is Staff Sgt. Foley, and this is the end of the line bowline. The purpose of the end of the line bowline is to secure a fixed loop in the end of a rope. Common uses include using this knot to secure the end of a rope around an anchor point. Understand there are many ways to tie an end of the line bowline. I'm going to go ahead and show you two different ways. The first way, you're going to start at the position of ready ropes. Go ahead and take your standing end, place it off to the side. With your working end, you're going to go ahead and drape it over your rope corral, creating a lay. I'm going to reach over and create a loop in my standing end. From here, I'm going to reach through my loop and pull out a bite of my standing end. Secure your working end and route it through that bite, folding it back over onto itself. From here, secure your standing end and pull tight, dressing your bowline. You'll know so far that you've tied your end of the line bowline correctly when you have a bite around your standing end, secured by a loop, with the pigtail running through the middle of the fixed loop. All right, from here, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate an overhand safety, ensuring it's touching but not impeding the knot, with a minimum of a 4-inch pigtail. From here, I can set my knot, taking out all of the slack. Once you're complete, to check your work, you'll see that you have a bite running around your standing end, secured by a loop, with an overhand safety that is touching but not impeding your knot, with a minimum of a 4-inch pigtail. Additionally, the fixed loop of your end of the line bowline is big enough to fit a carabiner through or to fit around your rope corral. The second way I'm going to show how to tie the end of the line bowline is going to have you start at the position of ready ropes. Go ahead and take your standing end, place it off to the side. Same as before, take your working end, drape it over your rope corral, creating a lay. Securing your standing end, you're going to go ahead and turn the car off, forming a loop. Secure your working end and feed it through that loop and around your standing end, and then back up and through. Once you've married up your running end and the fixed loop, you're going to go ahead and secure your standing end and pull out all the slack, dressing your bowline. All right, from here, same as before, I have a bite running around my standing end, secured by a loop, with my pigtail exiting in the middle of my fixed loop. And again, my fixed loop is big enough to fit a carabiner or to fit around my rope corral. I'm going to finish this off the same way as before by incorporating an overhand safety. Again, touching, not impeding the knot, with a minimum of a 4-inch pigtail. And from here, I'll go ahead and set my knot, taking out all the slack. One last time, I'm going to check my knot, ensure that I have a bite running around my standing end, secured by a loop, with an overhand safety touching, not impeding my knot, with a minimum of a 4-inch pigtail. My fixed loop is big enough to fit a carabiner or fit around my rope corral. This is the end of the line bowline. This is a 45-second knot. Starting from the position of ready ropes, I'm going to go ahead and take my standing end, indicated by my red tape, and place that off to the side. With my working end, I'm going to go ahead and lay that over my rope corral. From here, I'm going to reach over, form a loop in my standing end. I'm going to reach through that loop and pull out a bite. With my working end, I'm going to route it through the bite and fold it back over onto itself. With my opposite hand, I'm going to secure the standing end and pull tight, dressing my bowline. From here, I'll know I've tied the bowline correctly if I have a bite with the standing end running through it, secured by a loop. Additionally, my pigtail is exiting the knot in the center of my fixed loop. From here, I'm going to go ahead and tie an overhand safety, ensuring it is touching but not impeding the knot, and I have a minimum of 4 inches on my pigtail. Once that's incorporated, I'm going to go ahead and set the knot. I'm going to pull each line, taking out all of the slack. From here, although the bowline is tied correctly, again, I have my bite with the standing end running through it, secured by a loop. My overhand safety is touching but not impeding the knot. My pigtail is a minimum of 4 inches. My fixed loop is big enough to fit a carabiner or fit around the rope corral. The second way I'm going to cover how to tie the end of the line bowline is going to have you start at the position of ready ropes. I'm going to take my standing end, indicated by my red tape, place it off to the side. My working end, indicated by my yellow tape, is going to get draped over my rope corral, creating a lay. From here, I'm going to secure my standing end and turn the car off, creating a loop. Secure my working end and feed it through that loop. I'm going to route it around my standing end and back up through my loop, marrying it back onto itself. From here, I'm going to grab my standing end and pull tight, dressing my end of the line bowline. I'll know it's been done correctly so far when I have a bite around my standing end, secured by a loop, with my pigtail exiting through the middle of my fixed loop. My fixed loop is big enough to fit a carabiner through it or to fit around my rope corral. From here, I'm going to finish the knot off by incorporating an overhand safety, ensuring that it's touching but not impeding the knot. And once it's set, I'm left with a minimum of 4 inches of pigtail. Finally, I'm going to set my end of the line bowline, taking all the slack out of it. I'll know my end of the line bowline is tied correctly when I have my bite around my standing end, secured with a loop. I have an overhand safety, touching, not impeding the knot, with a minimum of 4 inches of pigtail. My fixed loop is big enough to fit a carabiner through it or to fit around my rope corral. This is the end of the line bowline. This is a 45-second knot. This will be tied to JOTC time and standard. This is a 45-second knot.